What's up, Middle Georgia Dog Pound? Welcome to another edition of the Middle Georgia Dog Pound Live. I'm your host, Brian. Matt, Kevin, what's up, fellas?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Mr. Matt, you are back in the pound. Back in the pound. I don't know where you were last week. You are now off of restriction, and you are back on the show. And we're glad to have you, my friend. 7-0. 7-0. The Dogs have continued to be undefeated this season. Without fail, we are here to recap it and give you all of the good highlights from the last Vanderbilt game. And we want to hear from you. This is the one time out of the year that we have an opportunity to take some calls and have you on the show. So the only thing we ask is that if you will please make sure you have your camera on and show us your name when you come on the show, so we'll know who we're talking to. Really hesitant putting anybody on the show live here without having your face on the show. So please make sure you do that. So I will share that link here in the banner in just a moment. But as you guys know, if this is your first time on the show, make sure you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook to give StreamYard permission to show your comment. And that'll give them permission to use your name and your picture from your Facebook account so we'll know who is commenting. And we definitely want to hear from you guys. Please comment on the show. We also have an email address. Love to hear from you if you want to be on the show or you have a product or a business that you want to promote. Hit us up at middlegeorgiadogpound@gmail.com. Well, guys, let's go ahead and run that footage. And while the footage is rolling, I'll post that link for anybody that wants to join into the show.
That's on you and your teammates to bring yourself and bring your A game. That's what we do for each other in this room. 60 minutes, hour long thing. We do it for men in this room. And don't ever forget that. You're doing it for your brother. You're doing it for your brother. Let's go! Let's go! Hey, buddy!
He's breaking tackles on the right side. He's crossed midfield down at the 40. Kendall Milton gets the carry this time. Big hole. Kendall might take care of business on the goal line and try to push Beck across, and they do. Touchdown. Time to throw over the middle. Caught by the tight end. Oscar Delpy's hit immediately. Right up the hash and into the end zone. Touchdown. As he was stopped by Tyke Smith.
Great defensive set right there by Tyke Smith.
Throws it over the middle. And something intercepted by Tyke Smith. They'll swing it down, tackle him at the Georgia 44-yard line. But Tyke with his fourth pick of the year.
Let's go, O! Punch it in! Set us the half, baby! Let's go! Pick him up. Keep coming, D. Keep coming, D. Let's go, baby. Let's go. For each other. For each other. Finish the game. Where's the energy? Take the field like you want to be wearing the G. I want to see what this team does when they hit the field. Let's dominate the next 2 quarters and go into this offense the right way. Let's go. Let's go, man.
They throw it to him. Love it. Wide open. Caught. Touchdown. Kick is away. We'll watch it. And it's good. He split the uprights. Woodring with his second field goal of the day. Hole right side. Dejon 40, 50. Got a block. We go with Morris as a fullback. Give it to Dejon. He walks in right behind number 56.
Boy, that's a way to ice it right there.
Win is a win. On to the next. Go Dogs.
Yeah, win is a win. That is for sure. We have seen our Dogs perform masterfully in Nashville, but this game we were not we were not executing on both sides of the ball. Matt, what is the issue? I thought we were over this, man. What's going on?
I'm not sure I'm going to say it's an issue. I mean, I rewatched the
Okay.
game, and they were dominant the entire game. It didn't feel that way in the emotion time because I mean, maybe it's just me. I get in the game and I get all amped up. I'm excited about the game. I almost feel like my living room is tailgate time. It just kind of is that way. But we dominated throughout the game, not only in yards, but if you go back and rewatch it, separate yourself from the emotion piece of not having these explosive plays every game. We had good long drives. We did not punt one time. Think about it. So we executed on offense just fine, and defense, yes, we're still having that issue with giving up the big play here and there every once in a while. But even then they only scored technically. I mean, they scored 20, but they really scored 13 points. That interception you had, I mean, the tip ball. You never know what happened if it was a normal spiral. That stuff happens. But to see what impressed me was that Beck was like, "No, you're not getting in my end zone." I mean, to me, I felt like that's where our defense needs to have that kind of same kind of mindset that you're not getting in our end zone if it's my fault or not my fault. But yeah, I really think we still played pretty well. I mean, the score didn't reflect it. We didn't feel like we were beating them like we did Kentucky, but I don't think we really needed to. I don't think they felt like, okay, here's the need to do this. We don't need to put up 60 points to this team. We didn't need to make a statement. We just needed to come in and be dominant, which we did. Statistically, we're very dominant.
Yeah, we came in, did what we had to do, got the win. I think one of the things I wanted to see was us get out of there without any injuries, and our best player on the team sprains his ankle on this new turf that Nashville has installed. I mean, that Vanderbilt's installed there in the stadium. I know there was a lot of questions about that turf. Kevin, what did you see when you were watching that game and watching the turf?
It was as slick as if it was raining. There was guys falling on both sides. Vanderbilt had guys come off the field injured, and we had several guys come off the field injured, and people just slipping in, sliding. I don't know. I don't like the turf. I like a natural playing surface. It seems to play better. The guys can cut better, and you seem to come out with less injuries off this. And it's a noted fact. It's all over NFL, college, that these guys end up being injured, and they don't like playing on this turf. But I think that's why you see stadiums like what Kansas City has, or it's Arizona, where it's an enclosed facility, but the floor, comes outside and it's natural grass. So I think it'd be better served to have natural grass and do research, on injuries caused. I know that they did a whole stint on that, but it still seems like there's more injuries on turf than it is on a natural playing field.
Agreed. Ken Lalonde said that they should have played in Warner Robins, would have had a better stadium. Well, that is for dang sure. With as tore up it was, I read somewhere that to enter the stadium you had to go through the basketball arena, so that's kind of odd. Ken Lalonde said it was windy, sloppy field, and a noon start was the reason for the awkward play there with Georgia. Yeah, I mean, Carson Beck didn't have his best game. Brock Bowers got injured, and our defense played in a soft zone for the majority of the game. And I didn't understand what they were doing with that. And I guess just trying to walk out of there without injuries and get the win. But I didn't quite understand our defensive play during that game. Matt, what did you learn about the team this week?
I mean, I think it's still not like that we learned, but we're still continuing to see that these guys, even though in adversity, they don't give up. They don't get complacent on the field. So, I mean, I think it's these different scenarios that we have. It's not like it's a neutral, I guess, a scenario and everything we're looking at. All the different times we see these guys play these games is a weird kind of scenario. Something jumps in there at them. I mean, this game, they're in a stadium that's only seating like 30,000 people, and probably 75% of it was Georgia fans. There's construction all around them. I mean, the scoreboard's being hung up by cables.
Cranes.
They're their locker room is a tent. I mean, like, what is your motivation? And also, you're playing a team who already has 5 losses. So I mean, it's like, yeah, there's a motivation factor there, and you kind of look around all your elements. You're like, man, we should just need to get in here and get out of here. And so maybe it's looking ahead to the bye week. I mean, I think maybe it's not what it was, but ultimately, they will show up for big games. I don't have a doubt about that. But I mean, it's just always going to be that way. People just need to get used to. I mean, especially from here on out, every game's going to be tough. Every game is going to be a close game. I'm sorry, I hate it for you guys. We're going to get everybody's best game, and every game is going to be close. Mm-hmm. Every game is going to be close. I mean, yes, injuries are part of it, but it's part of the game. There's not an excuse. Just need to move on with it and coach it up. Is how it works. So I just need people to be prepared for every game is going to be tough, and it should be tough. We've been very privileged for the last couple of years to have these blowout wins, beating people by 30 points every game. And even in those games, Stetson didn't play great sometimes. He just had those big plays. He did those big plays where he would have a 50-yard pass for a touchdown. Beck doesn't have those. He's more of a strategic, moving the ball down the field, putting guys in place. He's not yet that gunslinger that we've seen in the past with Stetson. But we also, opposite of that, Stetson would throw balls in the dirt 10 yards from him, and we were like, what are you doing? But Carson doesn't do that. So there's a give and take both guys. I mean, I don't want to get ahead to what the schedule on the agenda is, but I know these guys that they're not giving up. They don't give up anything, no matter how bad the situation is. Carson is not fazed by what's going on.
Yeah, and I love his resiliency after he threw that interception. Almost was a pick six. Goes down, lays the wood. I mean, what other message can you send to your team is that I'm fully committed, right? You lay your body on the line to prevent the touchdown. Ultimately, it didn't pan out that it made that much of a difference, but still, you were willing to put your body on the line and make the stop. So,
and it was smart too. He didn't lead with his shoulder or anything. He did with his back, so he wouldn't injure his shoulder or his arm or anything. It's smart.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we know that Brock Bowers underwent the tightrope surgery. I know a lot of people don't know a lot about it, and neither did I. So I did a little research, found a few videos that were some live tightrope surgery. Figured that we might have some squeamish individuals on the show. So I found the next best thing. So take a look at what a tightrope surgery is.
In this animation, we will show the repair of a high ankle sprain using the Tightrope XP implant. The ankle is made up of 3 bones, the tibia or shin bone, the fibula or calf bone, and the talus. A high ankle sprain involves the ligaments between the fibula and tibia. First, your surgeon will make an incision over the fibula, and a clamp is used to hold the 2 bones together. Next, a 2-hole plate is placed on the side of the fibula to help support the Tightrope XP implants. Then, special instruments are used to create 2 holes in both bones. Next, the first Tightrope XP implant is inserted through the hole until it reaches the opposite side. Once the button is confirmed to be outside of the bone, the red safety tab is removed. Next, the black button is slid backwards, allowing the Tightrope XP button to be released. After the button has been released, the driver is pulled back, allowing the button to sit flush onto the bone. The sutures and round button are then released from the handle, and the round button is slid down to the plate. Next, the shortening strands of the Tightrope XP implant are attached to the tightening handles, and your surgeon will pull on each suture until the desired tension is achieved. Lastly, your surgeon will implant a second Tightrope XP implant, using the same steps as the first implant. This completes the repair of a high ankle sprain.
Technology is an amazing thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Pretty minimally invasive. Special instrument to make holes in the bone. I'll give you a guess of what that is. It's a wand from Harry Potter's.
That's it.
If I had my kids here, I'd have them give me some Harry Potter verses on how to make holes in a bone. But anyway, little spells. But anyhow, yeah. So that's right. DeWalt. So anyway, yeah. So this is a well-known technology that's being used across all sports, specifically the NFL and college football. We've seen that. Having a brain fart. Our offensive lineman just recently sprained his ankle.
Mims.
Yeah, Amarius Mims had this surgery, and he's already out of a boot. He's already walking without any assistance. You know, he was on a scooter for a while, and they're saying that he could potentially play in the Florida game next week. So it's very fast recovery. 4 to 6 weeks is what the average time is. Knowing Brock Bowers, he'll be ready to go for the Georgia Tech game, and we won't need him. So love to see him back for Tennessee. I mean, we could really use him in Tennessee, if nothing else, for a decoy. But love to have him back for that, but I don't expect it. So a lot of questions were asked about the surgery to Kirby, and he would not budge, wouldn't give any sort of timelines.
Kirby, how confident would you say you are that Brock will be back in a Georgia uniform at some point in the season?
You really think I'm going to answer that question? I mean, like, is that all this is about? Like, you guys, all y'all want to talk about is whether he's going to be back or not. That's not, like, that is the furthest thing from my concern. My concern is this team and getting Brock Bowers healthy. And this team and getting Brock Bowers healthy. Like, to answer that question is speculative. I'm not going to speculate.
Yeah, he would not budge, wouldn't give any sort of timeline, wouldn't say what he thought or what he thinks. He just knows that this procedure is being used and seen good results out of it. I mean, we saw Tua Tagovailoa come back and play in the SEC championship 4 weeks after he had it done, and so I have no doubts that we'll see them back. So I wanted to make sure that I covered one more important aspect of our show, and I didn't want to get too far in the weeds before I forgot it, but my wife and kids surprised me this week with a big gift, and all three of us have got our 87 jersey on, if you guys can't see it.
Wow.
But the most important, impressive piece is the back. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but Middle Georgia Dog Pound is represented with Mr. Muse, man. And I was extremely excited to get this. Just to tell you, I shared a couple of tears there. But this was absolutely cool. Thank you to Haley and Carrie, my wife and daughter, for putting this together for us. That was a huge surprise, and we absolutely love it. So with that, there was a couple questions about in the press conference this week about Muse and whether or not he needed to be pulled from punt return, and Kirby had an emphatic answer, and I'll let you hear what he said.
Kirby, we've seen Mackay have a few muff punts at this point. Does anything need to change on that front, or is it just a matter of decision making and going through that process for him?
You ever caught one?
No.
You ever caught a rugby left-footed in the wind?
Nope.
I have. I'm glad I'm not back there, and I'm glad Muse is. So I trust him, and I think I got a lot of confidence in him. But until you've gone back there and seen Tim Wakefield's knuckleball do this through the wind, because the other option is don't catch him. I don't think that's a good option either, because the ball rolls. So check college football right now to see how many drops and fumble punts there are. They're not your traditional kickoff, and they're not your traditional spirals. They're really hard to catch, and I'm proud of what he's done.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy with Muse being back there. He's electric. We've seen a couple of plays where he's taken it to the house, and I have no doubts that we won't see that again this year. What do you guys think about Muse as our punt return guy?
I think he's another weapon, really. He's I mean, you can't have somebody back there that can't run fast, and this guy can get it done. And you don't. We're so banged up. I mean, who else are you going to put back there? And there's really nobody else that you can afford to have returning punts that could potentially go down, take a nasty hit and go down. Um, you know, let him do his job. He's not perfect.
Well, guys, we're at a point now. We're a little over midway through the season. How is the season shaking out for you guys? I'd love to hear from our folks that are listening to the show. I mean, where do you grade Georgia's offense? Where do you grade the defense? Where do you grade special teams? Matt, where do you grade our offense this far in the season?
I still grade our offense as an A. I mean, not an A plus or A minus, but an A. I think they're, like I said, they're still moving the ball, still still getting to know each other a little bit. I mean, but once again, I don't. When they put everything together, when they had to, and they felt that they were going to play their toughest team, you saw what happened. When they have to put the foot to the pedal, they do it. You see that in Kentucky. So I just think all the teams have been. We don't really need to do that, and when we had to, we stepped it up. Like when we were down to South Carolina, we stepped it up. We scored 27 points in the and 27 points in the second half. Or same thing with Auburn on the road. We stepped it up and played better. So offense, I'd say still an A right now. I think we're moving the ball, we're passing the ball a lot. And even last week, we threw the ball 39 times. We ran the ball 39 times. We're still very well balanced.
Do you have a favorite play from our offensive performance this season?
Ooh, man. There are a couple that come to mind. But I guess what I want to see more of would be the pass we saw, the first touchdown against Kentucky to Rosemary Jack Saint. That ball was on stride, in space, on the money, down the side, and bam, he was gone. So more stuff like that's kind of what I want to see. That I thought was my favorite.
I just so happen to have that video.
Hours.
Shocker.
To the right side, he's a wing there. Snap it back to Beck. Play fake. Carson sets up with time. Throws. He's got Marcus Rosemy over the shoulder catch at the 18, and he's going to angle in to the end zone, I think. Touchdown. Yeah, he got there right inside the.
All right, well, let's try it again.
Hours. To the right side, he's a wing there. Snap it back to Beck. Play fake. Carson sets up with time. Throws. He's got Marcus Rosemy over the shoulder catch at the 18, and he's going to angle in to the end zone, I think. Touchdown. Yeah, he got there right inside the left pylon.
Yeah, I like that one too. I think another one that I really liked was the go-ahead touchdown to Brock Bowers in the Auburn game. That was really a great one, and I've got it pulled up as well. So let me see if I can share that one with us. Well, it's just not going to cooperate tonight, is it?
Now with Beck, they snap it back. Carson throws. There's Bowers open at the 26, breaks away at the 20 to the 10, angles to the pylon. Touchdown, Brock Bowers.
Boy, big time games. Your stars have to show up, and Brock Bowers has done just that. They don't have an answer.
Yeah, that was a great play. I really enjoyed that one. Brock Bowers is a beast, that is for sure. Well, Kevin, how does the defense grade out in your opinion?
I think that we are too hard on the defense because you see those big flashes where they, like Matt was alluding to, they still give up that big play here and there, and it makes them look worse than what they really are. If you go back and you pull the stats, they only allowed 219 yards total against Vanderbilt, and 18 yards rushing total. We were complaining that they couldn't stop the run. Sounds like they stopped the run. I think the thing that really gashed us was just those throws right over the middle. I think that's one spot that they took advantage of, and that's think back. I think that's what Auburn was taking advantage of, is just those quick throws over the middle. I think that's something they could work on. So this team, I would say a B plus. I mean, they're not that dominant A+ defense that we're accustomed to seeing Georgia have, and I think that's why we're so hard on them. But I think overall, when you look at the grand scheme of college football, they're right up there with one of the top defenses in college football right now.
Yeah, I'm with you, B minus, something like that. We have seen some good play out of Malachi Starks and Tyke Smith. Tyke Smith leads the SEC with 3 interceptions, I believe, if my memory serves me correct. I don't think anybody else has any more than that.
I think he has 4.
Who?
I think Tyke Smith has 4.
4. Okay, sorry, I was wrong. I'm wrong. I think you're right. But anyway, with that being said, I definitely have a lot of room for improvement. The ceiling is so high with this defense that we've got a long ways to go. Let's just put it that way. I don't think we're as good as we can be. We can get to where we need to be by the end of the year. Special teams. Go ahead.
We can't expect to have a generational defense every year.
People
got to be realistic. Like right now we're fresh. We're kind of we're complaining, not complaining, but we're identifying as a B+ defense. Like how many times we would love to have a B+ defense back when Mark Richt was coach. Like how we would we had that, we would have won championships. So I mean, we need to just pump the brakes a little bit, and if we can keep everybody under 20 points, we're going to score more than that. We're going to score 30 points a game. So if we can just keep everybody to 20, we win the championship. So I don't think we need to be so hard on like Kevin's saying, because I mean, from what you can't put 15 guys in the pros from that team and expect to not have some kind of layoff a little bit. Yeah, it'll build it back up. We'll build it back up to another great team again, but it's hard that many years in a row.
Do you know where Georgia's defense ranks overall college football?
I mean, that's subjective.
6. Yeah. As far as statistics go, they rank number 6. It goes Penn State, Michigan, Air Force, Ohio, not Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia. Ohio State is 7th behind Georgia.
Yeah. And to Kevin's point, looking up to the teams we're going to be playing here soon, that run defense is coming around. I mean, if it wasn't – Auburn did a lot of run because all they did was run the ball. They didn't pass the ball at all. But Kentucky, we thought was going to be a big run team. We kept it under 60 yards. Vanderbilt kept them under 20 yards. I mean, that's incredible. You don't do that back-to-back games unless you mean it. Like you're trying to prove a point. And we're going to need that against Florida and against Tennessee, because those are two rushing teams that are really good rushing.
Yeah, that ETN, that's down there in Florida, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. We're gonna definitely need that. Definitely going to need that defense. Well, guys, what team? Before we move on to our next segment, I really wanted to just highlight a few teams on the SEC schedule. What team this year has been a surprise to you, and what team has been kind of a dud that you thought was going to improve and move and take a step forward this year?
Missouri's been a surprise for me. Huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, so like I said, same thing. Missouri and somewhat Kentucky were people that I thought Kentucky was going to be a 6-6 team, and they honestly still could be. I thought, man, they don't have a good returning people, and then the quarterback was subject. I just didn't see Kentucky being that great, and they started out the season really strong. So we'll see how they finish up. But yeah, Missouri, I knew they had a lot of returning pieces. I didn't think they would be 6-1 right now, honestly. And 6-1, and the one loss they have, they probably shouldn't have lost that game. So I'm actually surprised with them too. I agree with you guys.
Yeah, I think for me, the team that other than Missouri that's really shocked me is LSU. I thought their defense would take a step up this year, and they have just laid eggs. Did not expect that. They are lucky to get out of Missouri with that win. But I think A&M's been pretty much where we thought they were going to be. I think Alabama's improved. I think that they are not where I thought they were going to be. Now, this weekend will be the true test, right? When they play Tennessee, I don't think they've played a defense quite like what Tennessee has right now. Now Tennessee's offense is not as popping like it has in the past, so it's going to be the equalizer, that's for sure. But for me,
Texas A&M's defense is pretty good.
Yeah. I
So
agree.
they play Texas A&M pretty good. And Texas A&M's got a pretty good defense, and my biggest disappointment, honestly, is for me. Like, you mentioned LSU, they are one of the top disappointment teams on defense, but total school. I mean, South Carolina. That's just. I know they played some. They've played some tough games. They've had a tough schedule, but I mean, they have just wet the bed in some of these games. It's kind of disheartening, I guess, for them.
Yep. Well, anybody else you want to highlight on the SEC schedule before we move on to Paul's calls?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so Ken Alon says Mizzou has shocked him. Let's see. Andrew Martins, go Dogs from your only Canadian Dogs fan.
Like it.
I like it. I like it. All right, guys. Well, let's jump in here to the segment that we have most recently adopted. Is our good friend Paul Petresco has provided us some great officiating footage, and this is our portion of the show that we call Paul's Calls. And if I can get it to pull up, we will. Nothing seems to be working tonight. I am so sorry, y'all. All right, so our first video, it has to do with some targeting, and actually it's a punt, and so I'm gonna let you review that one.
Play four is going to be a two-play vignette concerning horse collar tackle. Now, first play we see the offense. They're going to get to the H-back coming around. He runs toward the boundary, and he's tackled by number 33 of the defense. And as we look at the replay, there's no question that the defender gets his hand inside the back collar of the runner's jersey. By rule, in addition to the defender grabbing inside the collar of the nameplate area, they must abruptly pull the ball carrier down for this to be a horse collar tackle. And in this play, he really just rides the ball carrier down. The ball carrier continues to move forward and falls forward. This is not considered a horse collar tackle. Now, as we look at play two of the vignette, we see that the quarterback drops back. He's going to try to run. Zero of the defense is going to grab the quarterback by the back collar and abruptly pull him down. And we're going to get a flag from our referee for a horse collar tackle. Now, this is the type action that we look for to call a horse collar tackle, an abrupt pull down. But by rule, the horse collar tackle does not apply to a ball carrier that is still in the tackle box. So after discussion, the crew's going to pick up the flag, and there is no foul here for a horse collar tackle because the action occurred in the tackle box.
All right, so that wasn't the video that I thought it was, but it's still good. Because we talked about this earlier in the season, right? We brought that video out and talked about it. And Matt texted me right in the middle of the game and said, hey, they just had a tackle like we talked about on the Dog Pound show. And they picked up the flag. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool that was something that we had talked about. All right, let me roll this next footage here.
Play 5, we have a 4th and 1 situation with the line to gain at the plus 28. And the offense is going to go for it. Now, we see that the quarterback, he tries to hand the ball off to the back behind the line. The ball comes loose, and then the quarterback's going to recover and fall forward well past the line to gain. Now, remember, on all 4th down plays, we have a 4th down fumble rule that states that if the offense fumbles and the ball is caught or recovered by another offensive player other than the fumbler, the ball becomes dead. And if the offense recovered in advance of the fumble is brought back to the spot of the fumble, if they recover behind the fumble, then it's dead at that spot. And the intent of this rule is not to allow the offense to intentionally fumble when they're going to be short of the line to gain on a 4th down. Now here, the ball comes loose in the mesh point with the quarterback and the back. And anytime we have a fumble like this at the mesh point, we attribute the fumble to the player handing the ball off. So the quarterback recovers his own fumble here on 4th down. That's legal. That's a legal play that results in a first down for the offense. Our last play this week, we're going to look at a potential targeting play. We're going to see the offense, they throw a short pass across the middle. Receiver 0, he takes a big hit from number 31 of the defense, and we get a call from our back judge for targeting. Now, 0 is shaking his head after the play, trying to clear away the hit. But as we go back and take a look at the play, we see number 31, he's going to come in, he lowers the head, leads with the helmet, and makes forcible contact to the receiver with the crown of his helmet. And replay can easily confirm an indicator of targeting and a crown of the helmet hit here, so they're going to confirm the call on the field. But as we continue to look at this play, we see that the receiver would still be considered defenseless. Even though he turns and begins to transition to a potential runner, he can't defend himself. He's still defenseless, and the rule book even states, when in question, we consider the player defenseless. And if the player was defenseless here, this could be targeting a defenseless player, as the crown hit went forcibly into the receiver's head and neck area. So this is a correct call for targeting, and number 31 is disqualified.
So, Matt, I know you have you're very opinionated with the targeting calls. What do you think about that one?
I mean, I could see. Okay, I like how you said opinionated. That's a nice way of saying rude. Gotcha. So
no, you're not rude. You're not rude. You just you have a very strong opinion about the targeting calls, and you believe that the first one always it should be a personal foul, not an ejection.
I 100% agree with that. So yes, do I think that's targeting? No, I don't think that's targeting. I know by the rules. I know by the rules, the law, the rule, the rule of the law and stuff. Right. I just don't see the person as defenseless. I mean, honestly, I guess I'm looking at football. You're in the middle of the field. You know people are. You know the linebackers in the middle of the field. You know you're going to get hit. You're not you know it's coming. Yep. So you got to be prepared for it. Now, yes, by the rule, is he leading with his helmet, hitting in the head? Yes, I believe that's once again it should be a 15-yard penalty. Move on. The guy can play play another round. But the ejection is just stupid. That is so dumb. That is taking the best player sometimes off the field unnecessarily. Now, if they do it again, it's a different story. That's fine. Then, yeah, you're now intentionally knowing you've been warned. You did it again, and do not pass go to jail kind of thing. But, yes, what I did learn this whole thing is that from now on, we should train our players to horse collar every tackle in the tackle box.
That was
why are we
the same
not,
thing. I was going to bring that up. I was going to be like, why are we not tackling that way?
Yeah,
just
why are we not teaching this down? Like, grab everybody.
Yep, that's right. Get them however you can get them. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep. It doesn't matter how you tackle them. As long as you're in the tackle box, you just can't grab the face mask.
Yeah, don't grab the
All right, well, guys, we got our first call-in caller here, a good friend of ours who comes on the show on a regular basis and comments well, Grady Darcy. What's up, fella?
How you guys doing this evening?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you too.
We're having a wonderful evening this evening and enjoying the show as usual. You guys always do a great job.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate that.
So, give us your thoughts on the Dogs this far this season, Grady. I know you've seen them a lot there in between the hedges running security, but tell me a little bit about where they grade out in your opinion.
I really think that we've got some great guys out there on the offensive line. Our defensive line is doing a good job. I'm kind of with Kirby when he said earlier this year that we don't have anybody that is like a big difference maker. But I really think our offensive line has stepped up and kind of road graded for the vast majority of the games. I'm glad to see that Mims is possibly going to be coming back in the next week or so. I think that, the quarterbacks can just sit back there and just kind of pick people apart. We really haven't seen anybody coming off the edges, definitely not anybody coming through the middle. I really think that it is a fantastic job of those big meat eaters right there in the middle of the line, just owning the line of scrimmage. Look at the number of rushing yards that we have every game. and it doesn't matter who they have back there. Those guys are road grading the entire time. I know a lot of that has to do with our blockers downfield. The wide receivers are also another group that I don't think are getting as big of attention as they should. They get out there, and even if the ball is not coming to them, you got Brock Bowers coming out of this backfield with the ball. You've got number 86 Bell that's running out of the backfield. Those downfield blocking schemes from the wide receivers, I think they're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think our wide receivers have improved tremendously with their blocking scheme. We still aren't doing the thing called bringing the ball in and holding on to it. It's frustrating. And I'm like, how many passes are they catching in practice? They got to be catching 100 passes a practice, and it's coming off that jugs machine. What else can you do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that our defenders, the defensive backs, they are just, they're ball hawking. They're making sure that nobody gets deeper than them. Linebackers doing a pretty good job as well. I think maybe a couple of additions to the linebacker room as we got coming back from injuries. I really think that, again, I think we have to go back to the fact that we've got everybody playing their role. And as much as we want to sometimes go, they're not dominating people like they did last year. Look at the stats, though. We are absolutely tearing people apart with the run game. Yards allowed. The only place that I see that we need a real pickup, and this is just my opinion, I think that we have to say, we've got to get a little bit more downhill when it comes to stopping a running quarterback. That's the only area that I've seen, and that's been throughout kind of the Kirby tenure, is anytime you've got the running quarterback, that's where we have a little bit of a question mark.
So, Grady, let me ask you this. Now with Brock Bowers out, and that is not our clutch guy, because we all know that's been our clutch go-to guy when we're in a tight spot. Do we see, and who do we see as far as our receiving core? Because I know they have not been targeted as much as we think they should or feel like they should. So is this the time that we see that receiving core step up, and who's that guy going to be?
I absolutely think that they will. And I think the guy that's going to step up, and he's been playing really, really strong this year, that's Rosemy Jackson. He has been on point throughout the entire year. He's had a couple of nicks and dings here in the past couple of games, but that joker comes out there and he comes ready to play. If he's not getting the ball, he's putting a helmet on somebody. He's putting his hands on whoever's in front of him. I really think that Rosemy Jackson is one that's going to be a really big pickup. I also think Bell moving out to the slot is going to be something that we're going to see probably coming up here pretty soon. We got a couple of younger guys who have not played a ton, but again, we go back to, the guys that are coming back off of injury. We've got, the tight ends who have not played a ton that should be coming into play. And I think Oscar Delp is actually going to come into his own within these next 3 or 4 games. I really think he's going to step up.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned him. I really like what Delp said when he was being questioned. If he was going to step up and be the next Brock Bowers, he said, "I'm just working on being Oscar Delp," and I think that was a great answer. He can't be Brock Bowers; he can only be himself.
Correct.
And be the best version of himself. I really, really, really like that answer.
Well, Grady, we got another guest coming on. I want you to stay on because I want you to be a part of the pick'ems. I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are on these pick'em games that we've selected for this week, because the dogs aren't playing, so we're trying to fill a little spot here with some content. But let me bring our next guest to the stage here, Canadian dog fan. Let's go.
What's up, boys?
What's going on,
buddy?
Dogs.
Go dogs.
Right.
Go dogs.
Go dogs.
Well, hey, fill us in, man. What's your grade on the dogs this year?
Solid B+, right where we need to be, though. I think. I think we always have an idea every year that we should be number one, and anything less than perfection is unacceptable. But we're always in the hunt. That's what I like about the Dogs. I don't have good analytics like your last guest, but I do have a story.
Go for it.
Being from Canada, up there, if you're a football fan, you watch CFL, and they have a maximum maybe 20,000 people at a game, which is pretty rare. And then when I moved to Georgia, everybody's talking about college football, and I couldn't wrap my head around why you'd be a fan of a college team that you didn't go to. So it messed me up, and I could not figure it out. I just figured you'd pick the NFL team closest to where you live until I went to a game. My first game experience, I think I was 13. I don't remember who they were playing. All I remember is 85,000 people wearing all red and black, and it was a life-changing experience. Never seen that many people one place in my life. Been a Dogs fan since.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Love it. Love it.
That's awesome.
That's good.
And to throw one thing in there, too, I have a small tradition we do with our family when we're watching the game. Every time they score, not for field goals, touchdowns, we pet our dog.
I like it. I like it.
I like it.
I like it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So tell me, Canadian fan, what is your best play of the year so far for you? What was your most impactful play this year for us?
Oh God, that means I've been watching it that closely. I can't think of one specific one. I think it's just, having such high expectations on a team that has lost so many players, has so many young players, and to watch them struggle in some games, especially in the beginning, but always find a way to win. Starting slow and then, figuring it out after halftime. They just don't stop.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Agree with that.
Well, hey, if you'll hang on with us, we'll let you give us your predictions on the games this week and to pick them. But we're going to jump right into that because we're going to run out of time if we keep talking. Let's do it.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So far, Matt and Brian are tied at 19 and 18. Somehow I left a few wins off of Kevin there, but he's significantly behind, unfortunately. But that's where we stand as far as the pick'ems go. I'll get your wins fixed for you, brother. I'm sorry about that.
It's fine. I'm planning to do what the Dogs do and come back and win this thing in the second half.
That's right.
There you go.
I like
there
it.
you go. All right. So the first game this week is Penn State at Ohio State. Matt, I'll let you take this one first. Go, buddy.
So like I said, I picked a lot of these games this week. Some of them are just the bigger games in general for these conferences. It's the where you're going to see who is actually going to put themselves in contention for their championship. Are they going to separate themselves from the other people in the pack? And so that's kind of where I have these games coming up for us here on this pick'em. So Penn State, Ohio State. I really you're going to be surprised here. I really like Penn State.
I am.
So I'm not a huge fan of Ohio State. I know they got I'm not going to lie. They have the best receivers in the country there. But I'm not sold yet on their offensive end. And I know Penn State hasn't played anybody. I completely understand that. But Penn State has what it almost reminds me. You look at what they did so far this year. It's kind of what we did to teams last year. They are beating people. They may struggle in the first quarter or so, but they are putting teams away like we did last year. This will be their first test. So we'll really see how really good they are. But I am picking Penn State in this.
I like it. I like it. Grady, what do you think, buddy?
I'm with him. I like Penn State in the fact that they're going to be coming out there ready to play. They're going to OSU is the only maybe drawback I've got there. But I just heard that OSU is now under investigation for – I'm sorry, it's Michigan. I'm sorry. It's Michigan that's under investigation for stealing signs again. But
wow, that's not surprising.
I will take Penn State over OSU. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think it's going to be a 24-21 win by Penn State.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Kevin, what do you think, buddy?
This one was a difficult one for me, and I was just looking at the statistics here, and this Penn State team is just amazing on defense. Really, they have the number one ranked defense in college football right now. They're only allowing 193 yards a game. Um, so even though they're going to OSU, I really think I'm going to agree with Matt on this one. I think Penn State's going to figure out a way to stop Ohio State's offense and come up with a huge upset win for the weekend. Yep.
Oh, wow. Canadian Dog fan, what you think, buddy?
No idea. Going based purely off I'm going to go with Ohio State.
I like it.
There you
I
go.
like it. I'm going with Ohio State too, just because I got to go opposite of the other two fellas here to try to make some ground. But yeah, I'm going to Ohio State as well. All right, yeah, Ohio State's. I think they have them slated to win by 4.5 or something like that. That's what the spread is. So I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be a 3-point game, but I think Ohio State squeaks it out in the end. All right, our next one: Florida State and Duke. Kevin, I'll let you go first this time.
All right, this one's going to be a big matchup for the weekend. It's kind of hard to believe to say that when you're talking about Duke, but Duke is a really good team this year. If you've watched any of their games, they have put on a heck of a football game. Everyone that they have played, they really should have beat Notre Dame. They just had a string of bad luck there. But FSU, they're coming in this thing undefeated, and they are playing at FSU. So I really want to pick Duke in this one, but I've got to go with my head and say FSU is going to pull out the win.
Yeah, I like it. Grady, what do you think, buddy?
I think FSU is actually going to roll on this one. FSU is really strong. They've got a really strong defense. Of course, it is the ACC, but I have to say that Florida State's going to roll on this one. I'm going to give them 35-17 over Duke.
I like it. Canadian Dog fan, what you think, buddy?
Again, off the rankings, Florida State sounds good.
I like it. Matt?
I'm kind of like Kevin here. I'll be rooting for the Blue Devils for sure. I just think FSU is just going to have too much power for them in the end, kind of like Notre Dame did, just kind of the very end of it, kind of come out and win it. But I think it's going to be a close game. I'm still going to go with FSU.
Yeah, I am too. FSU all the way. I think they even cover. I think they cover the 14.5. I think. Oh, there goes Matt. Come back. Lost Matt for just a second. Yeah, I think they cover. So, yeah, totally. All right, I'm missing some comments. Let me grab the comments here. So, Ken Alon says FSU 35-21. Dad says FSU 27-21. Ken Alon said he wants Penn State to win, but he's choosing Ohio State. Dad says Penn State 34-27. All right, I like those. All right. On to our next one here is Alabama at Tennessee. Tennessee at Alabama. Matt, take it, buddy. What you think?
This was one of those games where we all wish that both teams could lose. Like, we really wish that at some point the scene from Batman, the very last Batman with the field in caves and everyone falls in the pit. Kind of wish this would happen here for these two teams without anybody being injured. Forgive. I'm gonna go Alabama. I'm not sold on Tennessee's offense. I don't think that their quarterback is inconsistent. I want the Tennessee to win the game because I would say we're going to play them, and I really want there to be a competitive game with them. But I think Alabama's going to win this game. I think their defense is playing pretty strong right now. Even though they kind of had some struggles against Arkansas, they're playing pretty strong. So I'm going to go Alabama at home.
I like it. Canadian Dog fan, what's your thoughts, buddy?
I'm going with an Alabama loss because who doesn't like to see that?
Preach it.
I like it.
That's right.
All right.
I agree.
I'm now.
All right, Grady. What you think, Grady?
I actually believe that Tennessee's got a really strong chance of playing Alabama, and it's not because Tennessee's great. We've seen them struggle, but I've seen Alabama struggle pretty bad this year. So I think it's going to be a close game. I'll take the Vols 21-20 over Bama.
I like it.
Nice.
I like that. I like that. Kevin, what's your thoughts?
I have picked this one as an Alabama loss at the beginning of the season, and I am going to stick with that. I got Tennessee winning this one 28-24.
Golly. All right. I hate picking Alabama, but I'm going to pick Alabama because I have chose against them and they proved me wrong. So I'm going Alabama with this one. I think they're going to win it. I really do. All right, let's get some comments here. See, Ken Lalonde says, Bama's revenge, home cooked refs. Bama 31-24. Yep, I agree with that. Dad says Alabama 27-20. And Kim Evans says, best comment ever. I guess he's talking about Canadian dog fans' comment about who doesn't like it, see an Alabama loss. All right. Facts. All right. SC, Southern Cal.
We got one more.
Oh. Bama by 3. Okay, I like it, Kim. Thanks, Kevin.
Yep.
All right. Southern Cal and Utah. Matt, go.
So I picked this game because I really just like watching USC lose and seeing how terrible their defense is and how Bear Alexander keeps saying how awesome their defense is. So I'm just going to get the point. Utah is going to beat them, and they're going to score another 45-plus points on them.
I like it. I like it. Kevin?
Yeah, I'm going to take Utah in this one because I'm like Matt. I just don't think that USC has got the defense to stop them. It's going to be a slugfest. I think it's just going to be an offensive scoring match. It's like a 45-38.
I like it. Well, I'm taking USC. It's going to be close. I'm going to take them by 7. I think they score a last-minute touchdown. Grady, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think USC is probably going to win. As bad as I like to see Bear Alexander get shown up because, he went out there for the cakewalk and hasn't been much of a cakewalk. But I think USC wins 51-47.
I like it. Canadian dog fan, what's your thoughts?
California is still part of this country. I'm going with Utah because they're American.
I like it. I like it. All right, let's catch some predictions here in the comment screen. Let's see. Dad says Utah 43-37. Ken Lalonde says USC has not been relevant since they stopped cheating. Utah by 10. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. The U against Clemson. Clemson will be playing in Miami. Matt, what you think, buddy?
I think Miami topped out early in the season. I don't think they really have it. I don't think Clemson's offense is that strong. The defense is not as good as they were last year for sure. But I think Clemson will continue to get better throughout the year. I'm going to take Clemson in this match, even though the statistics would say take Miami. So I'm going Clemson for the win.
Wow. I've been saying all season that Miami has a really great team, and I really still believe that. But they haven't won a game at home yet. Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm.
They are winless at home, and I don't understand what the deal is with that. But I still think that Miami has the best team. I think that they are better than Clemson. So I'm still going to go with Miami, but they better show up this time. So, Matt, you've got Clemson. I've got Miami in this one, and I think it's still going to be a close one. I think Miami wins by a touchdown late. Grady, what you think?
Actually, I think Clemson might actually come up and win this one because Miami hasn't really impressed me. Clemson's played okay, but I actually think Clemson might win this one 17-10.
Canadian dog fan, what's your thoughts?
You guys make a pretty compelling case for Clemson. I'll go with that.
I like it. I like it. Kevin?
When we first started talking about this, I had Clemson circled as the one I'm picking. And then I just go back and they have the affinity for letting you down. I'm going to go with Miami on this one. I think they bounce back for 2 straight losses. I think they bounce back and get them a win in a close one. I think it's going to be 28-24.
I like it. I like it. All right, let's see what our commenters say here. Ken Lalonde says Clemson's defense is too much for Miami. Wow, Clemson 27-21. Dad says Clemson 28-17. All right, that is it. All right, I think that is our last one. Well, guys, appreciate everybody coming on tonight. Grady, glad to have you. Glad to see you on the show. I appreciate all your great comments on the show. Canadian Dog Fan, it sure was good to have you tonight. I love your hoodie, by the way. That is super cool.
Oh, I
super
saw
cool.
Somebody at dropping my daughter off this morning. Exact same hoodie. It said Florida. I was like, nice hoodie, but wrong team.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, we're going to close this thing out right. We will be back here next Wednesday night. We've got a little scheduling conflict with our Thursday night show, so we're going to air on Wednesday. Please join us. We will be so happy to have you guys on and get your comments. We will be back to preview the meeting in Gainesville against Florida in Jacksonville. Thank you, Kevin. I'm having a brain lapse, but we will be there, and we will be on and get you ready for that show. Get you ready for that game with our show next week. And I am just stumbling all over my words because I am trying to find our music to shut us out here. So see if it'll play. And nothing's working tonight.
It's working. It's working.
All right. Well, guys, I appreciate everybody being on. Grady, Canadian Dog Fan. I'm Brian, Matt, Kevin. Go Dogs.
Oh,
go Dogs.
Go Dogs.